NCIS, Tony and Ziva, S1XE7, why Episode 7's Misfire makes it hard to stay invested in the spin-off. Evaluation, the reasons NCIS, Tony and Ziva Episode 7 cannot hold viewers' interest. NCIS, Tony and Ziva Season 1 Episode 7, Dark Mirror, which aired on Paramount Plus on October 2, 2025, is the subject of this analysis. This episode's attempt at sensuous romance, villain backstories, and high-stakes espionage aims high but falls short, which adds to the spin-off's uneven 88% Rotten Tomatoes run. If you haven't seen it yet, proceed with care. The 45-minute episode, which was written by Frank Cardea and directed by Norberto Barba, follows Ziva David, Cote de Pablo, and Tony DiNozzo, Michael Weatherly, on an undercover assignment in Paris. However, its flaws, repeated Tiva tension, complicated villain motivations, and underutilized supporting cast, make it clear why some viewers don't care. Below, we examine these shortcomings while recognizing the episode's positive aspects, based on criticism from Collider, Primetimer, The Wrap, and Reddit/IMDb user replies. Recap of the episode with very few spoilers. In Episode 7, Tony and Ziva go undercover in Paris as a high society couple to sneak into a reigning fire tech expo and stop renegade former Interpol agents Jonah Markham, Julian Ovenden, and Martine Aranow, Nassima Benchicou, from killing CEO Aaron Graves, Sean Pertwee, and taking over his drone business. While Tony and Ziva struggle with their renewed romance and protecting their daughter Tali, Isla Gie, flashbacks reveal the sad beginnings of Jonah and Martine, a Syrian drone strike trauma for Martine, and a fictitious Balkan loss for Jonah. Ziva confronts Martine in the cafe, and ally Boris, Maximilian Osinski, decodes a chip that reveals Jonah's lies. The cliffhanger at the end of the episode teases a broken villain coalition. Why it's hard to care about Episode 7. Episode 7 falters in ways that highlight the spin-off's inability to sustain emotional and narrative traction, despite its glitzy Parisian setting and Tiva chemistry. This is how it fails. Tiva tension repetitively drags the emotional center. With a rain-soaked near-kiss and a gala slow dance that TV fanatic describes as sexy, but unnecessary, the episode primarily centers on Tony and Ziva's will-they-won't-they romance. Their unresolved feelings, Ziva's "we can't keep running from this" feels like a repetition of Episode 4's confession, lack new stakes after 6 episodes of flirtatious bickering. Complicated villain backstories make the plot more difficult to follow. The purpose of Jonah and Martine's 2014 flashback origins, Martine's Syrian horror, Jonah's fictitious Balkan family loss, is to humanize them, but it also overflows the story. Collider acknowledges that the heavy-handed flashbacks break up the action, but he nevertheless commends the psychologically rich goal. This is echoed by The Wrap, which describes Jonah's foggy facts and the Syrian drone strike as a murky slog that hides the Graves plot. Although Jonah's power grab, hijacking drones, and Martine's moral code, no children injured, are appealing in theory, their reasons are unclear. Why target Tony's company rather than Graves directly? Too many villain motives, not enough focus, complains IMDb users. Viewers get disinterested in the stakes because of this intricacy. Potential for underutilized supporting cast wastes. By being marginalized, Tali, Boris, and Sophie, Freja Biha Eriksson, lessen emotional ties. Tali's admission in Episode 6 was a stomach punch, and she hardly appears in Episode 7 other than for a quick safehouse call. According to Primetimer, her absence mutes the family angle, rendering the threat to her seem intangible. Although crucial, Boris's technological abilities, decoding the chip, are underutilized, and Sophie's recuperation from her wounds is minimized. When Tiva's romance fails, Sportskita complains that the underutilized ensemble robs the show of heart. Ex-fans concur. Where is Tali? One-liners aren't enough for Boris. Using nostalgia too much at the expense of original storytelling. In order to appeal to devoted viewers rather than developing a standalone plot, the episode heavily relies on NCIS callbacks, such as a Gibbs portrait and Ziva's treatment relating to Season 11. Because Jonah and Martine's conspiracy lacks the grounded clarity of NCIS's Case of the Week style, The Wrap criticizes the rabid fan bias that turns off new viewers. It is referred to as fan service overload in Reddit conversations. Redeeming characteristics. What remains effective despite its shortcomings? Episode 7 contains some standout scenes. Parisian action. According to Collider, the rooftop chase and gala infiltration are Bond-esque, with Tony's drone hack and Ziva's parkour providing excitement. Martine's fracture. According to Sportskeeda, Ziva's confrontation with Jonah in the cafe, which exposes his lies about Tali, is a game-changer, laying the groundwork for an engaging villain split. Tiva chemistry. Despite being repetitive, Weatherly and De Pablo's banter is nevertheless intoxicating, according to TV Fanatic. Seasonal consequences. Tony and Ziva struggle to strike a balance between its NCIS heritage and a bolder streaming vision is shown by the mistakes made in Episode 7. The Martine-Jonah feud and Expo plot need to be streamlined with 3 episodes remaining in order to regain momentum. Fans are hoping for greater Tali/Boris focus and more defined stakes in Episode 8, Face Value, October 9.